Welcome back to Views with Hughes, Culture and News. That's right, changing the name of this channel. Again, welcome back to Views with Hughes, Culture and News. This is Jerome Hughes. Now, let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, I don't usually talk politics up here, but you might have already heard, but in case you've missed it, Joe Rogan, the guy who built the Joe Rogan experience into one of the most influential platforms in modern media, has come out to go ahead with an official endorsement of Donald Trump as president of the United States, while having Elon Musk appear on his show. And with the election so close, this news has gotten people talking from all sides of the aisle. And Joe Rogan and his influence, can't be, underestimated, and his support for Trump is a big deal. Now, Joe Rogan's audience trusts him, and, his endorsement will surely get people thinking. All right. Now, as you all know, Joe Rogan is your typical media personality. You see, Joe Rogan has built a massive following by talking with everyone from scientists and comedians and political figures, and even Elon Musk, as you all see here in this video. And also, Joe Rogan has been on a journey. If you listen to Joe Rogan regularly, you've probably heard him explore every viewpoint under the sun. And this has mainstream media shaking in its boots, because not people leaving mainstream media in droves, but it was Joe Rogan's latest conversation with Elon Musk that seemed to be the tipping point, pushing Joe Rogan to endorse Trump. Now, this latest move has everyone wondering where Joe Rogan stands and what led Joe Rogan to this decision. Now, why is Joe Rogan's endorsement of Trump important? Well, for starters, Joe Rogan and his podcast reaches millions of people every week, and his fan base is mostly young, male, and even highly engaged. Exactly the kind of people that Trump's campaign has been trying to go ahead and reach. Now, this particular demographic can, sometimes be hard to pin down in politics, but Joe Rogan speaks directly to them, and they're not necessarily, attached to one party. They want authenticity, and they're tired of the same old talking points from politicians as well as media outlets. And Joe Rogan's voice carries weight with them because, Joe Rogan's known for being blunt, for saying what he believes, and for not backing down from, different controversial conversations. And for many people, Joe Rogan is a trusted source. So how did this endorsement from Joe Rogan come about? Well, in Joe Rogan's own words, his recent conversation with Elon Musk really made an impact. You see, Musk, as you know, isn't one to hold back either. He told Bob Iger to go F himself. And he's been openly supportive of Trump in the past, where during this interview, Musk laid out his reasons, likely discussing his concerns about the direction of the country, the economy, as well as the tech industry. Now, things that Musk and Joe Rogan have both publicly been vocal about. And Joe Rogan apparently found, Musk's arguments compelling, which led to his decision to go ahead and endorse Trump. Now, the fact of the matter still remains. If we actually go ahead, look back, Joe Rogan has always had this tendency to lean towards candidates, who feel real, people who say that they mean what they say. And we've seen it in Joe Rogan's past political discussions. And he's also open-minded, but at the same time skeptical of the political establishment. And that's probably part of why, Trump's appeal has grown on Joe Rogan. Now, Trump positioned himself to also be a disruptor, someone not tied to the same playbook as career politicians. And Joe Rogan seems to also see value in that. And Joe Rogan has, had friendly interactions with Trump before. As you all know, Joe Rogan and Trump have always talked about everything from scrapping federal income tax to Trump's love for MMA and UFC. And they even drove into wild topics like the possibility of extraterrestrial life. And this type is exactly the type of stuff that Joe Rogan loves. Conversations that are broad and that appeal to both people's curiosity and skepticism. And it's not every day you actually see any kind of political figure talk openly about aliens and martial arts, and that speaks to why Trump's style connects with Joe Rogan's interests. All right, now as you dive deeper into this particular topic, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click bell notifications, so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates, and also smash the like button on this video and share this video far across social media. Now, we also got to address the reaction to Joe Rogan's endorsement. You see, Trump's campaign, as you can imagine, seems to be thrilled with this endorsement, especially with, the timing, the night before the election. A figure like Joe Rogan coming out and saying that, he's endorsing Trump could be huge for Trump's turnout. Okay. Now, Joe Rogan's audience trusts him, so this endorsement could really resonate with the people who, really aren't into the mainstream media or those, traditional campaign ads. And the fact of the matter is, for a lot of Joe Rogan's fans, this might even be the deciding factor that brings them out to vote. Possibly. I mean, never know. Someone could have already made their mind already, but we've already seen people react on social media and in the news, and Joe Rogan's endorsement is getting a lot of attention because it's not something people would have easily predicted. You see, Joe Rogan has been historically critical of both parties. He's not one to align himself fully with one side or the other, but Joe Rogan has made it clear that he values free speech, and he's big on gun rights, and he doesn't shy away from discussing the importance of individual freedoms. All right, and that's what a lot of us seem to value. But Trump, for all his flaws, speaks to a lot of these values. And, the guy's been a huge advocate for the Second Amendment, and he's been outspoken about issues like tech censorship and media bias, issues that Joe Rogan and his audience care about. And Joe Rogan and his endorsement, could definitely be reflecting a lot with frustration with the current political system, where people are just tired of feeling unheard or even marginalized, especially in, all the different mainstream spaces. Now, some of you might be wondering, will Joe Rogan's endorsement actually sway away votes? Now, that's hard to say definitively, but what we do know is that the alternative media figures like Joe Rogan are changing the game right now. People aren't getting their news and opinions from just cable news or newspapers anymore. They're turning to voices that they actually feel understand their concerns and talk straight to them. And Joe Rogan's influence isn't just about the massive audience and everything, the massive audience numbers, but it's about the trust that he's built with his listeners over the years of honest and open conversation. And that's something that a lot of people enjoy. So what does Joe Rogan's endorsement mean for the larger political landscape? Well, it's a sign that the mainstream media and traditional political campaigns might not be able to be enough to shape people's political choices anymore. Now, voters are seeking out alternative viewpoints, often from folks outside the political establishment, people like Joe Rogan or Musk and other public figures who are seen as having real life experience and no hidden agendas. Okay. Now, the fact of the matter remains that in the end, this is just simply a reminder that politics today is as much about trust and authenticity as it is about policies and platforms. Now, people want to go ahead and hear from figures who seem real, who don't sound like they're reading from a teleprompter or, regurgitating party lines and stuff. And that's something that Joe Rogan's endorsement highlights. Okay. But yeah, that's it for now. And so what do you think about this? Will Joe Rogan's endorsement be a game changer for Trump in the final stretch, or is it just another blip on the radar in a chaotic election season? All I know is that Joe Rogan himself is actually come off as unbiased, but at the same time, people on the left would accuse Joe Rogan of being politically biased, calling him right winger, so on and so forth. But in the end, Joe Rogan made his decision and to endorse Trump, even though it's late in the game. But we're going to see how this all turned out. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts you might have this particular topic. If you enjoyed what I shared in this video, go ahead, smash the like button, share this video far wide across social media. And if you haven't done so already, you enjoyed all the content that I put out there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, click the notification so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Till then, peace.